What's up, everybody? How's everybody doing today? We'll give people a few moments to come on into the chat room. Drink me some water. What's up, everybody? Thank you for joining the show. Hope everybody had a good Thanksgiving. I know I did. I had some delicious food. So good. But today we got some automotive news to talk about. We got 3 automotive news stories for you today. I hope that you will enjoy being here. Let's get right into it. Hold on. Mm. What's up, everybody? Hope you had a good Thanksgiving. Let me know in the comments. Oh boy. Three automotive stories for you today, you guys. It's going to be amazing. Shocking and amazing. This is breaking automotive news, everybody. Breaking news. The CEO of Stellantis has decided to resign. This is according to an article from carscoops.com. Let's look at this article and then we're going to react to it. Then we're going to see what people are saying in the comments. I think they are ready to say things in the comments. Look at this. Carlos Tavares is out as the Stellantis CEO following disagreements with the company's board of directors. The executive was slated to retire in 2026, but resigned with immediate effect. So he is gone immediately, if not sooner. So they're thinking they're going to name a successor early next year. But in the meantime, the company will be led by an interim executive committee headed by John Elkann. Oh my goodness, you guys. Stellantis CEO is gone. He says, "You ain't got me to kick around anymore." Look at this. He released a short statement saying that the company's board of directors accepted the resignation and they've already started the search for a new CEO. Goodness gracious. I remember when you guys remember when he said he was going to be resigning soon, like within the next year. And I was thinking to myself, why is he waiting a whole year? Like if the company's doing so bad and everybody's blaming him, why even keep working another day? But I don't know. I'm thinking maybe it had something to do with his severance package. You know, those guys, they get big severance packages and there are certain things that need to be met. So maybe he was just getting all those I's dotted and those T's crossed to make sure he gets a whole bunch of millions of dollars. Oh, that's what I would do. I would make sure I get that. Shoot. But a lot of people are saying that he did a terrible job. Look at this. They're saying that so it was a sudden resignation. It looks like it was sudden. And let's see. Different reviews have emerged, which resulted in the board and the CEO coming to today's decision. Yeah. So he's out of here, people. You guys remember when the UAW wrote that letter talking about how bad he was? That I think they had a hand in getting him out of there, but I don't know. Maybe it was a small hand. Stellantis is a huge company, so but that couldn't have been good. Let's just say that. Goodness gracious. So he had a series of missteps that included bloated price tags. Yeah, that's what everybody in the comments is always saying about these vehicles. They cost too much. They're $80,000, $90,000, $100,000. These are Dodges, people. I mean, this is like a working man's type vehicle, I know they have some luxury vehicles, but come on. You're misreading your audience. Oh my goodness. So before I give you my take on this, let's look in the comments. I know they are ready to pounce on this guy. They're ready to get him. Let's see. Did we expect this fat? Did we expect this fast? Nope. Anywho, and have clapping. Is that Mariah Carey? Mariah Carey's clapping. The captain leaving first from a sinking ship, basically. Well, bye. He's like, "Yeah, get out." Nobody liked that guy. Uh-uh. This guy says goodbye to Varys, hoping Stellantis can recover. If it does. Uh, Meanwhile, at Ford, Farley is like, oh, shit. Why is he worried? I don't think they were doing as bad as Stellantis. I mean, they got a million recalls, but they're not doing that bad. If they could just get the recalls under control, they could be fine and dandy. Let's see. Well, so much for that 10-year plan. My prediction is Stellantis will be broken up, and this is pretty much the death knell for Chrysler. Yeah. Oh man, I don't know, maybe that would be what's best. It's such a huge company. It seems difficult for them to be able to make vehicles for all those different people in different countries. Like people are so different around the world. You can't make the same vehicles for Dodge that you make for people in Italy, can you? I don't know. I don't think so. But we'll see. This guy says, "Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if Chrysler is sold again, but who would want it?" If I was a competing manufacturer, I would be interested in the brand, but not the business. Could this be an entry for Geely or BYD? Oh no, I hope not. They better not sell any of this to BYD. That will be treacherous. Let's see. This guy says, "This is the best news ever. An early Christmas miracle." Bye bye, clueless Carlos. Good effing riddance. Better now than to wait another entire year when his contract ends. So we'll be seeing some real changes earlier than later. More focus slash fix on American brands. Yeah. I don't know if it's a miracle, but it seemed like he was on his way out anyway. I don't know. This guy says guy was useless and did a ton of damage. Yeah. Oh boy. The board hires him to implement their strategy. It fails, then they fire him. What exactly will change? At this point, they might as well buy Nissan. They're going to buy Nissan? Nissan, I don't know. I think Honda's about to take over Nissan. That's what people are guessing about. We will see. Let us be patient. I hope Nissan doesn't go out of business though. I do like Nissan. At least I like their sports cars. Mm. Oh boy. Well, that is basically what the comments are saying. Everybody's happy, like it's a freaking miracle. Oh man. So this is what I think about this. I got two kind of views about this. Part of this problem is governments around the world in the US and the EU, especially, and Australia too, I believe. They are forcing automakers to make electric vehicles, and they have these sky high emissions and fuel economy standards. They're forcing everybody to try to meet these same standards, but not every OEM is really, I don't think they're all capable of doing that. For example, Dodges, they were really they were really good at making fast, big displacement engines. They got the Hemi, they got the Hellcat. That was really the bread and butter of Dodge. And then they got Jeep was a very valuable brand as well. I mean, they they didn't really have a lot of good, even small ICE vehicles. And now you want them to just pivot and make electric vehicles too. And also, their customers are used to a certain thing. So when they just change that out of nowhere and they say, look, we're going to make electric vehicles, like their particular customers, at least in the US, Dodge, Chrysler, Jeep, I mean, they got kind of turned off from that. Like they really resented that. I think also, now here's where I think the CEO made some mistakes. Now, it's not really their fault that they have all these sky high emission problems, but emissions and EV mandates. But this is where I think they messed up. They didn't have the vision to give the US customers what they wanted. I think Dodge would have been fine if instead of making the Challenger and Charger into EVs, that they just brought back the Neon and made that an EV. Like that's a small car. I don't think it would have been that hard to make something that people would have liked. I mean, it would have been difficult to get the price down and you would have lost money initially, but I could see some people buying some electric neons or maybe even like an electric PT Cruiser. Maybe they could have brought that back. But when they made the Challenger and Chargers into EVs, man, people just hate that idea, man. Those cars have always been big V8s, rear wheel drive, going straight in a straight line or going doing donuts and street takeovers. That is what those cars were about. They you should have never tried to make that an EV. Like I see you need to make some of them, but not that car. I mean, that car is really special. That is a special vehicle, and they should have found a way to keep those Hemis going. Now, I hear some rumors that there is a Hemi in development. I mean, it's just a rumor right now, but maybe the Hemi will come back. We got Trump back in office. Maybe they'll take away some of these emissions and EV guidelines and allow them to sell the cars that people want from them. I mean, it's not enough to just say that a lot of people or even some people want electric cars, but they they may want those cars from other OEMs, not necessarily from Dodge. I mean, is somebody who's interested in buying an EV Tesla the same person that would consider buying a EV Dodge? I mean, when you think Dodge, do you really think EV? I mean, I don't. I don't know about you, but that is what we got for that story. He's going. I'm not sure. All right, let's look at some more comments. He said, yeah, no worries. I'm sure after earning $40 million last year, his legal team made sure we will be resigning with a big fat bag of money to land on. Yeah, that's what I was thinking. Like maybe he was trying to make sure his severance wasn't affected by him resigning. Or I don't know, maybe it depends on how he leaves the company, if how much of a severance he gets. Like maybe if he gets fired, then he gets less of a severance than if he resigns. I don't know. I don't know that world of big bonuses. But yeah, there are always rules to that kind of thing. So this guy continues. Now all the stockholders, UAW, Italian auto workers, and all of the Stellantis dealerships are sucking this breaking news up to the best of their abilities. Now comes the part where we throw our heads back in laughter. Ready? Oh boy. Should have left sooner. It's about time. Stellantis board of directors as they select a new CEO, and there is a train going into the abyss. Goodbye. Everybody says they're not surprised. Glad he's gone. Now comes the fun part in 2025. This could be far from the last of these departures. Wonder what kind of severance was involved. Yeah, that's what I was thinking. Sure, we'll hear soon enough and grab those barf bags off to the island of Tavares. This gift said it had to be done. Yeah, he's out of there. He gone. I don't think anybody will miss him. I think he is done. And it's not just the EVs that were a problem. I heard they were firing a bunch of engineers, especially like the engineers that worked at the plant who keep things going and keep problems from coming on the line. And they were making a bunch of vehicles. And when a vehicle comes off the line, they will do certain tests on it to make sure that it's ready to be sold or ready to be shipped to a dealership. And the vehicles were coming off the line and there were problems. And they fired a bunch of their old engineers. So they brought in a bunch of people who make less from other countries, and they don't know how to fix it as well. So yeah, and then they're trying to offsource a lot of their testing to South America, and that's always more difficult than you think it's going to be. I know one OEM. I'm not going to say exactly who it was, but I used to work there. It wasn't Toyota though. But and they were trying to offshore their testing to India, and they were trying to do this for years and years, and they could never get it together. Sometimes people in other cultures, it's not necessarily that they're not as intelligent, but they just have a different culture. Like the people in India, what I heard was they would what's called silo information, which mean like they wouldn't share all their knowledge with the people on their team because they're so paranoid of getting fired or getting laid off that they want to feel like, oh, I'm the person that has to do this particular task and I'm not going to tell anybody else how to do it. And that was ridiculous. They were having problems. They had problems with one plant. There was literal monkeys stealing some of the tools that they needed. Like monkeys were stealing torque wrenches. I'm not even being funny. Like actual monkeys would steal some of the tools they needed. So they couldn't get it together. And at a certain point, I don't know. I think they gave up. But yeah, it's not that easy to offshore your testing to another country. And it's not that easy just to bring cheaper engineers in from another country. Like they using all these typical corporate things to save money, and they just didn't see the forest for the trees. Their main problem was charging too much and not giving the people what they wanted. It wasn't the engineers making too much. It was decisions that came from the top that did not pan out very well. So anyway, goodbye, CEO of Stellantis. Let's hope that at least Dodge and Jeep can survive, and Ram. I think Chrysler is going now. So here we go. Next story. Let's look at another situation. The Toyota GR Supra Final Edition says goodbye with 429 horsepower chassis and aero upgrades. So it looks like the Supra in this edition anyway is saying goodbye. Oh no. So this is the ultimate version of the GR Supra, and it is limited to 300 units, and they're only going to Europe and Japan. And well, it does look pretty good in all black. I'm not gonna lie. I ain't gonna lie about that. It looks pretty cool. But you guys know my opinion about this vehicle. I have not liked it from the beginning. I never liked it, and now that it's leaving, well, I'm not too upset about it. That doesn't mean that I don't like Toyota. I mean, I like Toyota. I don't like the concept of using another OEM's engine in such an iconic sports car. And you know what? I'm never going to get over it. And that's the way it goes because now BMW. I think this happened because BMW decided to stop making this engine. And look, now you got to stop making it because the real owners of this vehicle decided they didn't want it anymore. So it is a pretty good last edition, though. Let's be honest. Let's be honest, MJ. Hold your feelings aside and let's look at it. So here are some of the upgrades. Let's see. Stronger brakes, suspension upgrades, more carbon fiber aero components. The engine is a little stronger, a little more powerful. The uprated version of the BMW sourced turbocharged 3-liter 6-cylinder engine, and it's generating 429 horsepower and 420 pound-feet of torque. And it's only going into a 6-speed manual. That's good at least. Sending powers to the rear wheels where they belong. Too bad it wasn't a Toyota engine sending that power back there. Maybe it would still be driving. Let's see. They added a baffle plate on the engine oil pan to prevent uneven distribution during track use. They just did that. They should have been did that. Why would they just do that? I saw this is quick sidebar. I saw on Instagram one of those short reels, and they had a engine dyno set up. I think it was for like Porsche, and instead of just being fixed in place, this engine dyno was also made to move left and right and up and down. So I believe this was just so that they could make sure that at no point is the engine being starved of oil. So, they already got their oil baffling in there so that you're never starved of oil when you're making these aggressive cornering moves on the track. So yeah, Toyota, maybe they should. I don't know if they do that now, but maybe they should because yeah, they should have been had that baffle plate in the engine oil pan. I think the Toyota Celica early years had a problem with that. Not early years, but like the 2000s. I think that was a Yamaha engine now, but yeah, that should be a standard for sports cars, I think. Can't be having an engine starving oil. And there's a new muffler for improved sound experience. Yeah. Sharper chassis setup inspired by the GR Supra GT4 race car. Yeah, that'll be nice. I heard I think they made some modifications to the chassis on one of these GR Supras. I think I did a story about this. And they stuffed the V8 in there from the LC 500. That's what the Supra should have been from the beginning. If you're not going to use the LC 500 body, they could have used a slightly bigger version of this chassis and just stuffed that 5-liter V8 in there. Everybody would have been happy. I think they would have been 100% happier with that Toyota V8 than the BMW straight inline six. I don't know, but yeah, it does look good, man. Look, just take this vehicle, change the body a little bit so you can fit that V8 in there and stuff it in there. Give us a 6-speed manual and call it a day, please. No I don't want no. I don't think they even have an inline six, but I don't know. I heard they might be putting that. I think there's a 3-cylinder turbo that's they use for the Corolla, and I don't know. I don't know if that's a good engine for the Supra either. But yeah, we got 19-inch Brembo brakes, high friction brake pads in the front, drilled floating disc on all 4 wheels, stainless steel mesh brake hoses. All right. This is a pretty good vehicle. It looks good. Looks like it'll be lots of fun on the track. It just got the wrong engine. Sorry. But I'm never gonna cozy up to that. Well, it looks good in red. Looks pretty good in red. All right. Well, maybe next generation you'll get a Toyota engine and everyone will be happy. Now, don't say that to diss Toyota. It's not an insult for me to expect that a Toyota engine goes into a Toyota sports car, especially the Toyota Supra. I mean, come on. This is one of the best vehicles Toyota ever made. The Supra, it's iconic, man. You don't mess around with that. You see what happened to Dodge when they tried to make their Charger an EV? Everybody did. Everybody hates it, basically. I think it's like 3 people gonna buy that EV charger. And the Toyota, well, some people like that. Some people like that. I don't think the Toyota fans dislike it as much as the Dodge fans dislike the electric charger, but oh no, it's close, I guess. Yeah, see, it looks pretty cool. I ain't gonna lie. Maybe gray's not the best color. I think it looks better in this black. What do you guys think? Looks good in red. But yeah, the black one is the best one. This black one looks good. Look at that. This black one looks sinister. This is like the car from the bad guy in the movie. We'll pull up in this, and you hear him say, just dun 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 dun. Black Toyota Supra coming around. Let's see what the comments have to say. You guys know what I think about it already. I'm not going to harp on that. This guy says the styling is awful. We won't miss it. Very few on the road anyhow. I don't think it looks that bad. I think it's a little small, actually. Like I've seen it in person and it looks kind of small. Like you think the Supra will be it's smaller than the Mark IV Supra. I don't know why they made it so small. But yeah, it's just the engine that I didn't like the most. This guy says, I'm shocked but not disappointed that they decided to make the final edition only available with a manual transmission. Yeah, you're shocked at that? I mean, they only made 300 of them. They're probably not going to be having, not probably not going to have a whole bunch of different options. Hard enough just to make a small limited run like this. This guy says, honestly, that's a good upgrade. Not like the base 3.0 liter is a bad car, but this is definitely a more enhanced experience. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, it was never bad. I just, I got emotions about that car. Should be Toyota engine. With such exterior, it has zero chances of becoming a legend. Yeah, I don't think it'll be a legend either. Sucks that the next Supra won't have a 6-cylinder, most likely, but I4 boosted to Mars like everyone else, which they have recently bragged about. Yeah, that's what might happen. At least it'll be a Toyota engine, though, hopefully. Toyota's about to usher in a renaissance. Good things coming in the automotive world. Oh, maybe. I mean, Toyota is doing some pretty good things. I love the new Camry. I'm thinking about buying one. I love that 2.5-liter hybrid powertrain, man. I think that's going to be a legendary powertrain. Uh, that might that might prove to be one of the best powertrains ever in the Toyota, but we'll see. I saw one with over 450,000 miles, original everything. So those are the kind of Toyota numbers we're looking to see. Now, if they can get the Tundra engine fiasco under control, and the Celica might be coming back. That's what. Oh, here we go. Next comment. If the Celica is making a comeback, I see the next generation Supra as the high performance version of it, much like the early 1980s, where they were based on the same platform and the Supra having the more powerful engine. Yeah. Yeah. I think they used to be called the Celica Supra back in the day. This guy says, I have a feeling that Toyota will utilize Mazda's inline six for the next generation Supra, and they'll most likely pair it with some kind of hybrid setup to push past the 400 horsepower barrier. Don't know if that means they'll lose the manual transmission option in the process or if they'll somehow make it work. Hopefully, if it does turn out to be the case, Mazda will use the same setup in a sedan format. I think all signs point to that being the case, but who knows? Huh? Mm, I don't know. Maybe Phil McGraw. Maybe. We shall see. You guys know what engine I want to be in the Supra. You already know. Mm, duh, DD. Yeah, speculation of production ending started floating around about 6 months ago. That's true. This guy's. Dude, I've driven both the Supra and the Z4, and the Z4 is actually more fun since you can put the top down. Yeah, that's I like. If I were to buy one of these cars, I'd get the Z4. I think the Z4 looks better, to be honest. And then also for service, it's better just to take this car to a BMW dealership. Even this the Supra with the BMW engine. When you take these mash up cars like this to the dealership, those mechanics do not want to work on that. I'm telling you, I could guarantee you that. They when they see that thing, they're like, "Oh, who has to work on that?" Because this is how that's how it was when I worked at Honda when they had that. I think it was the Passport with a Isuzu engine in it. Man, nobody wanted to work on that thing because you get so used to working on that brand when something else comes in, like you're all out of you're all discombobulated. You're like, "Oh, why did they do it this way? Why did they do it that way?" And you know, that BMW, it's got special tools. They got like a special tool just to if you have to put in a window regulator motor. Like they got a special tool like to hold the glass in a certain position. It's just ridiculous. I saw the car care nut talking about that car one time. And he's like, "Oh, well, you go to the dealership, you think they're gonna have the special tool, but then they got to borrow the special tool from a BMW dealership or from another Toyota dealership. Like they won't. Every Toyota dealership sometimes doesn't have every special tool for that BMW Supra. So one in the area will get it, and then they'll share it. So it all leads to your car taking longer for people to work on. When you take it in there, the mechanics aren't used to working on it, so they're not going to just they're not going to be as much of an expert as you might think somebody at the dealership is gonna be. So, yeah, if you own that car, I would take it to a BMW dealer because at least they're used to working on BMWs and they got all the tools. Well, here we go. Couple more comments and we'll go to the next story. I heard from a few people that the Z4 drives better because of the weight distribution also being lower than the Supra. My biggest issue with the Supra, everybody calls it the Supra. His biggest issue is the visibility. You can't see out of it very well, and the cabin is a tight fit. Also, there's no sunroof, and the windows are tiny. It just feels dark all the time, even on a sunny day. Overall, a very claustrophobic experience. Interesting. Yeah, I haven't driven one of those things, but I could see what you're talking about here. You see, the Z4 with the roof up also has this issue, but once you put the roof down, the visibility is far improved. You're no longer in a dark, cramped space, but a bright, open, welcoming one. If I had a new Z4, I'd never drive with the roof up. Nothing like beautiful open sky and the wind in your hair. Yeah, that's a good point. Visibility. A lot of people also complained about the visibility of the CHR, that that little tiny SUV. They don't even they don't even sell that anymore. I never liked that vehicle either, but I have my own reasons for not liking it. I was working there and testing them. That thing gave me nothing but problems. But they worked out all the problems once it got to production, but that thing was giving me a run for my money. Whole bunch of reports on that one. But yeah, all right. Well, that's what we got, people. The Supra, the Supra is Gonza, and it looks like people aren't too upset about it. But this, I gotta admit, this one looks good though. Man, that's a nice black too. Black on black. I guess I gotta really be claustrophobic in this one. You can't see nothing if you we get that one. But yeah. So you guys, anybody in the chat got any questions? Feel free to ask. Or if you have any comments, how did your Thanksgiving go? Mine was pretty freaking good. I had a great Thanksgiving. Hang out with my friend Angry McNerdy Face, and it was lots of fun. Let me get the last story. If you are in the chat, please hit the like button. If you have anything you want to talk about, maybe I'll do some nerd research for you. We could talk about some used car buying, used cars. We could talk about repairs. But this next story is rather close to my heart, and you'll see it in one moment. Let me cue it up. Let's cue it up. Oh boy, let me not open up too many tabs or I'm going to crash. Let's see the next story. If you guys know me, you know I love the Nissan 240 SX. And this is a story from The Drive. This guy says, or this article is about this Nissan dealer might be trolling us, but honestly, it's pretty funny. Would you pay $10,000 for a stock 240 SX with a nasty sunburn? By Andrew Collins. Listen, Andrew, I don't think you understand how great this vehicle is. And yes, people will pay 10,000 or even more than that for this vehicle. And if you don't understand why, then let me explain it to you. Hmm, This guy doesn't understand. I choked on my Thanksgiving leftovers a little bit this morning when I scrolled by this Nissan dealer inventory listing showing a deeply sun-cooked 240SX in a corporate presentation template like it's the new Z or something. It looks like the starter car you'd have in a street racing video game. The $10,000 price tag made me laugh too until I realized that if I were standing on this lot, I'd have to pick between this and any other new Nissan. I mean, I'd probably be leaving with the Relic. Look, all right, I don't know why you think you get to insult one of the greatest vehicles Nissan ever made, but let me set you straight, sir. These cars are very rare. This is this is a over this is about over 30 years old, this vehicle. Yeah, this is about 32, 33 years old, this vehicle, bro. This is a classic. Like imagine you were walking around in the 90s, walking onto a car dealership lot, and you saw a 1966 Ford Mustang Classic. And just because the paint is bad, look, who cares about this paint? This car is going to get painted anyway. If if I were to get this vehicle, and you know what, I I might consider it, but I like the hatchback a little better. I had a '92 hatchback, a red one. But yeah, as long as the body looks good, and the body does, it doesn't look like it's been in any accidents. And the fact that it's stock is actually a good thing, Mr. Smarty Pants, because when get this ad out here. When people get these cars, they usually want to put in a whole bunch of modifications. So the fact that it doesn't have a bunch of modifications and it is stock is amazing. And number three, it is a stick shift. Okay. when I had my 240SX, I had to do a swap to swap it from automatic to manual, and that was a giant pain in the butt, but it was a fun experience. But yeah, it's not easy to swap these over. So the fact that it's already a manual, which is what you want, is perfect, man. You don't understand, bro. Look, the fact that it is stock is what is awesome about it because I am going to change it anyway. I'm going to change everything anyway. I'm probably going to take the engine out, take this engine out, put in a SR20, or you can put in a, a, a GM engine in there. You can put people have put in RB engines from like GTRs or Skylines. They put those in there. You can put darn near. I've seen somebody put a Supra engine in this thing. This is like the perfect area. Look at all the space you have. So yeah, you could put in just about any engine. So it doesn't matter that it's stock. It's awesome that it's stock because as soon as I or somebody, a collector who likes these vehicles gets this, is going to get a new paint job, is going to get a new engine. And thank God you don't have to mess with the manual. You don't have to do the manual swap. And the interior looks perfect. This interior looks great, man. This is definitely worth $10,000. I wouldn't be surprised if it sells for more than that. Mr. Smart Guy. Yeah, I mean, long as the underneath of it isn't messed up. Yeah, I'm finding appreciate near stock survivors a lot more than I used to. Heavily detailed in the interior, replacing all bushings, fittings, fitting exceptional tires, and just keeping this thing running without touching the paint will probably be my inclination. Why would you wouldn't paint that? Are you crazy? Yeah, of course you wouldn't be. I need to call the editor and complain about this writer. So let's look in the comments to see what they think, if they agree with me. This guy says, I'd happily pay 5 or 6 for this. The 240SX with a manual transmission is extremely rare these days. Thank you, E. This guy says 8 out of 10. Restoring it to near original showroom quality will yield something far more interesting than any mods, which have all been done to death. You'd be the only person you know with a stock 240 and the jewel of every car meet, if that's your thing. Either way, when finished, just revel in driving your uncomplicated, clean, beautiful time capsule that should last forever with decent maintenance. They aren't making any cars like that anymore. Thank you, sir. Yeah, you'd keep it stock. I'd keep it very close to stock. I gotta have a different engine though. I might to keep it stock. I would probably I would put in the SR20 from have it imported from Japan because they were stock in the Japan version of those vehicles, the Sylvia. So yeah, that's basically stock. But yeah, I see what you're saying. I would keep it very, very close to stock and very clean. So yeah, probably not put a bunch of stickers on it or spoilers. Uh, let's see. Gotta be the best Nissan on the lot with what they're selling these days. Why else would they be in such bad financial straits? That VC engine they got, I wouldn't want in my lawnmower, much less my car. They use talking about the variable compression engine. Yeah, a lot of people they got some issues with those engines. They could likely get it painted at cost and put a set of OEM alloys on it. Then their price would be considered sort of fair, given how many of these have been modded to death and destroyed. Exactly. I mean, they're almost all gone. People they drift with those cars, especially the manual transmissions, and they wrap them around trees. They got in all types of accidents. They ruined them. They're all gone. It's a shame. Wait till you find out about the markup on a couple of Nissan SR20s 1 week before race wars. Yeah. Yeah, that's true. So let's do, you guys know me. We're about to do some nerd research. Let me show you the nerd research about this vehicle. I'm not just going to read the article, but we're going to add some extra context. Look, I found the Carfax for that exact Nissan. Let's look at it. Let's look at it. 9 service history records. No odometer check issues found. The Look, this was sold June 26, 1991. Goodness gracious. That was a long time ago, man. Past emission. So this is in California. Past emission, vehicle serviced. Look at all these things. Did the brake master cylinder replaced at 98,000? Not bad. Look, you just want to make sure there's no accidents. Looks like it was towed because it needed a battery. Check the EGR system. Yeah, see? Uneventful. That is what you want to see out of a Carfax, though. No accidents. Spent its whole life in Napa, California. I wonder who owned this vehicle. You did not even modify it. Well, thank you for not modifying it, and thank you for not getting in any accidents over 30 years. Look at that. See, now I want to go buy this car. I want it. I need to have another 240SX one day. This has got to happen, people. All right, let's add a little bit more context. Where is the thing I want? All right. I will find you one more thing I wanted to show you. Then we'll get on out of here. If you are in the comment section, please hit the like button. I would really appreciate it. Maybe we could get more people to come into the chat and hang out. We'll talk about cars all freaking night long. Where is the one I want to? Here it does. This is what I want to show you. To prove to whoever wrote that snarky little article that the Nissan 240SX is indeed worth that much money. Where are you? Let us share the link. So we are on Car Gurus, and there are only 4 240SXs for sale in the entire freaking country. The one that the article was about for $10,000. There's a 96 240SX for sale for $30,000. Oh, there is a beautiful 1992 240SX for $20,000 and a 97 for $40,000. Goodness gracious. And that's it. So see, these are worth even more than the 350Zs because there's hardly any of them out there anymore. There's a whole bunch of Zs. That is what you're looking at. I got to look at this black one. Hold on. This is beautiful. Come on, you guys. You got to hit the like button. Every time you hit the like button, I get $1,000. So 20 like buttons, and then I could get this car. Look at this. All right, so let's start at the beginning. This is a beautiful. Oh man, that looks good, man. I kind of like this one now. Maybe I'll get this one instead of the hatchback. 92, just like the one I used to have, except for this is this one has a trunk instead of a hatchback. Coupe, 20,000 freaking dollars. See, manual. That's what you want. That's why it's so much money. Only 128,000 miles. 5-speed manual. 7 previous owners. Good lord. Oh no. At this point, all the rules go out the window, and you just inspect this car. Make sure the frame's not bent or rusted out. Let's look at it. Let's look at the greatness, everybody. This is the greatness. Oh my god. Oh, that's why. That's why it's got the SR20 in it. I think that's SR20. See, this is the engine you want. This is the one that came in the vehicles stock when they were in Japan. And then when they came to the US, we didn't get this engine. So yeah, somebody did a swap on it and now it's super fast. Look at that. See, they got the coolant reservoir, aluminum. Looks like they probably got electric cooling fans. Got your turbo piping, sway bar, crosslink, upper sway bar, whatever. Oh, the manual windows. Mine had manual windows. Yeah, interior's pretty stock. I got a aftermarket radio, and this is probably a boost gauge, turbo Greddy boost. Oh my goodness, you're boosting up to 20 psi? Is that is this vehicle even on? Can't see the RPM gauge. Oh, well, RPM gauge is up on that one. Yeah. Look at this. I don't like the shifter, but you get a new one. Look at that stock. These seats are surprisingly comfortable, actually. I remember they were very comfortable. But yeah, this car is so much fun to drive, you guys. And with that SR20 already swapped over, they already did the work for you. That is why this car is for sale for $20,000. And you know what? I would rather have this than just about any new Nissan. Um, I don't know. If you were to offer me the new Z, that would be a real close. That would be close. The new Z's, I definitely like the new Z. The GTR is going. Like I'd rather the GTR. If somebody offered me the GTR of this, obviously I'd take the GTR. But and the new Z, uh, the new Z is worth more. So if I'd have to take that one and then sell it and buy several of these. I wish I had a 240SX museum. That's what I want. If I had the lottery, I'm gonna make a bed and breakfast 240SX museum and buy every 240SX in the country. As soon as it goes for sale, I'm gonna buy it. And just some of them will be modified and some of them will be perfectly stock. And I would just people could come hang out and they could drive them for a fee of only $10. Like, I don't know. But yeah, whoever wrote that article doesn't get it. But I hope I was able to explain it to you. You know what people do with these two is they'll get they'll make it so that these headlights will only open like halfway or three-quarters of the way. So that it looks like it has sleepy eyes. I remember I did that. I forget how I did. I think is you cut like one wire and then when you push the button to open or close, there's one of these buttons. It's near the steering wheel. I think it's on the other side. But then when you push the buttons, if you just tap it, you could just kind of tap the headlights so that they'll only open halfway. Oh my god. All right, well, that is what I got for you guys today. Thank you for joining in the live stream. I will be breaking this live stream up into different videos so you could watch them throughout the week and you could just go to the one that you want. But if you have any questions or comments, I'm going to get on out of here in a moment. Let's look at these pictures. Oh yeah, so here's the what they did to it. So I can't see it all the way, but it probably says red top, so that's the SR20 red top bored to 0.020 over. So he bored out the engine a little bit, so and put oversized pistons in it with newer bearings and new head gaskets specifically ordered for that bore size. Okay. Like somebody knew what they were doing, it looks like. That's what you want. If somebody modified it, you got to really hope they knew what they were doing, because then if they messed it up, then it's a pain in the butt to fix it. But it got a turbo timer, manual boost controller, custom exhaust, DD drilled and slotted rotors, the Z32 brake kit. Yeah, so it looks like that's the Nissan Z brakes they put in there. The boost is 11 psi, makes a little over 300 wheel horsepower. High boost is 19.5, around 400 horsepower. Oh my goodness, this is definitely worth it. Battery relocated in the trunk. TD. Wow, somebody gave us a winner. That's nice. That's a nice job. All right, so yeah, this is why people would buy that $10,000 one, so they could turn it into something like this. And it's 100% worth it because, well, I mean, if it's things have a value based on what other people will pay for them. So yeah, people will pay. People will pay for old 240SXs. You know, they're classics, and they ain't making them like that anymore. So it is what it is. I would love to have it. Either one, the $10,000 one or this $20,000 one. But that is what we got for you today. Thank you for joining the stream and have a good one.